What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So you can see it's a Porsche takeover at the moment. We've got the 924S you guys saw in the last episode that I just brought home. We have Kayla's first year 1983 944. And as some of you guys may already know, a few episodes back on the channel, Elliot Grafton from 944 Barn, who we bought these two cars from, came up and we did an episode together of lowering the 944, dropped the whole rear suspension, altered the torsion bars, and just kind of cut a couple coils out of the front to get it sitting pretty low. Coilovers are next on the list for this car, and then coilovers for the 924. At the moment, we are building a set of BBS RSs for this car. You guys also know that I too bought a set of BBS RSs for the red 924. And those have yet to get broken down and re-lipped and figured out how they're going to fit on the narrow body 924. All right, guys, so it turns out I'm going to do a separate episode of rebuilding Kayla's RSs for a 944. The hardware she had didn't clean up well. I even went out and bought a tumbler and some media, and we ran it for a solid hour or more. I know a lot of guys run them for hours and hours and hours, but I didn't have a corn cob media. It really didn't clean up the way we wanted them to, and they are old. It's the old stainless bolts. So she's going to buy new bolts. When those come in, I'll end up filming the episode of refinishing those RSs, since I think that's a good episode. So I'm salvaging this episode to basically film some stuff for the rest of the day that I'm doing here in the shop, because I'm leaving for California first thing in the morning. I'm headed to Northern California to my friend Sutton Morris's shop, Morris Motors. If you guys have been here on the channel, you've seen me at this place before. Corey and I went through there a few years ago on the Rotiform Always Broke trip in the Cabrio that we drove all over America. I was out there about a year ago with Kayla. Just went out to hang out with Sutton. And then I shipped my E24 6 Series out there back, maybe coming close to about a year ago now. I'll give you guys some updates on that potential project, but we're not messing with that on this trip. More on that in the very next episode, because I'm leaving there tomorrow morning. So I have a few Ludwig's Garage orders to take to UPS, and might run and get a coffee, meet up with Kayla, possibly with her 944, and we'll salvage the rest of this episode on the last day here. It's almost insane the differences in the widths of these cars. Like, this is how the car started, and then it became basically a race car. I mean, it's wild. I mean, you just look at the front fenders, how narrow body this thing is, and just how much wider they got when they went to the 944. It's insane. Rear fender, I think, is where it gets the craziest. Some of you guys may know, it's got to be at least 3.5, maybe even 4 inches. It's wild how much wider the 944s are, but I think these things deserve some love. Little slab side, little rocket ships with the 2.5 in it. All right, so the big question here is coilovers or air suspension. And before everybody gets all in a tussle, I know that these cars should definitely be on coilovers. But I'm just kind of interested as to what you guys want to see and what you guys think these cars would look best as. Now, I don't think the laid flat tucking wheel all around look is for these cars. I like some of them, depending on the wheel choices, but it's not for me. And although many of you guys who have only seen what I've been doing on the YouTube channel would think that I bag everything, when indeed I started with cars only on coilovers. Like I was not anti-air, but I was all about coilovers and driving static. Run it how you park it type deal. And only in my later years have I really wanted to bag everything, especially old vintage cars, and lay them flat on the ground, as low as you can possibly go. But yes, I do believe that these cars need to be on coilovers. They need to be a good handling and driving car. But I do like things being super, super low. So might do coilovers super low on the 16-inch RSs. Might do air. I mean, who knows? I mean, air suspension would be fun because you kind of have to build it. There's no bolt-in air suspension components for these cars, so it'd be fun to kind of go through that process of bagging one, and then you'd be able to dial in your wheel fitment however you want at the press of a button, basically. And with today's air suspension technology, you can get it to ride just as good, if not better, than coilovers. So it's a bunch more fail points. You've got weak points, you've got electronic components, you've got all of that involved. I've kind of wanted to throw it out there. Leave in the comments what you think. Would you rather see this thing on coilovers, super low to the ground, mountain carver kind of canyon car? Or would you rather see it on air suspension, kind of like that style? A little bit more low to the ground, tighter wheel fitment. Just put it in the comments. What do you guys want to see with the 924S? Kayla's car is going coilovers. Maybe this one goes air. I'm easy either way, so don't get too mad. Just let me know what you think. All right, guys, so I just remembered that I didn't show you anything of the interior in the last episode when I actually bought this 924S. In true 944 fashion, the dash was severely cracked, and surprisingly, they make these dash covers that are basically OEM, and they just go over the dash and get fitted down. So this is the early 944 dash cover. Southern car, saw lots of sun, so that's no surprise there. Steering wheel, it's in great shape. I actually do like these 3-spoke 924 wheels a little bit more than the 2-spoke 944 steering wheels. I've said it for years. I think Porsche made some of the most boring steering wheels ever of any automotive manufacturer. I mean, I don't know why. They're just, I get that the car was fantastic in so many other ways, mechanically, performance, visually, exterior aesthetics, all that stuff. But for me, steering wheels are huge because that's what you are looking at and holding on to every time you drive the car. It's what's closest to you in the whole car. So I do like these a little bit more, which is nice. I don't know if I'll switch it up. I do have a vintage steering wheel collection, notably European steering wheels, and would love to put something vintage in this, or period correct, but I haven't decided yet. Shift boot is not OEM. This is another 944, 924 common issue, especially with lots of sun. The base plates often break tabs and pop up. There's no head unit. There's just like a little cubby hole in there. I might change that, but this is an AC car, which is pretty cool. Everything's there. The AC is not working at the moment. I think it's still on the R12 system, so I might take a look to see what it's going to take to get that working, because it's almost March here in Chattanooga, and by April, you're in air-conditioned weather. So that might need AC here pretty soon. Heat's great, which is awesome. All the HVAC stuff works. The cigarette lighter is normally right here under the AC dial. The previous owner replaced it with a USB port. There's another one right here for some reason, so you've got two. But other than that, the interior is in great shape. Your cubby ports here, this is all in great shape. There's another little ashtray. I actually have some hardware in there. He actually put this little seat-mounted cup holder in, which is actually quite nice for the driver. Makes the passenger seat a little bit smaller, but it's really quite nice as a driver to be able to put stuff in a cubby and have a couple cup holders, because you know these 80s German cars, nothing had cup holders. If you wanted refreshments, you stopped for refreshments, and then you got back on the road. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure, might not have this exactly, but I'm pretty sure the Mark III Volkswagen might be the first of the major German cars that had cup holders in them. And that would have been 1993. So I think 93 might have been the earliest cup holders that came in any German car. And what's hilarious is it almost seemed like they were doing it simply for the American market, because we are just a land of McDonald's drive-through big gulp people. And the cup holders that came stock in the Mark IIIs were these tiny little cup holders that went underneath the center console, and they were just big enough for a 12-ounce Coke can, and that's it. You can't fit anything else in there. So it was almost like, yeah, we'll give you cup holders, but you're not really getting cup holders. Seats are a little showing their wear. The passenger seat's actually in decent nick. Porsche logos on the inlays and the headrests. So passenger seat's actually in pretty good shape. Some of the stitching's coming apart here. Driver's seat's where the stitching's come apart the worst. He did have a seat cover on it, but I'd rather look at some tears with the factory upholstery than some seat covers. So I took that off. It's got some floor mats, some like rubber floor mats, but I do want to find the OEM floor mats. So I'll be on the hunt for those. Door cards are in great shape. Both power windows work, which is awesome. All door handles, everything's in good shape. Nothing's too like sun faded up front. Passenger door card. Slick top is the way. That's my favorite part of the whole car. Dome lights, sun visors, you know, everything's in good shape. Glove compartment door works, which is great. And look at this. So anyone who knows me well enough knows I geek out about manufacturer literature. Geek out about it. And here is the original 924S owner's manual. This thing is so rad. I love this stuff. Your new Porsche 924S. Showing you how to operate everything. What do we got here? Radio wiring. Oh boy. Then we've got the warranty booklet for the 924S for 1987. This is pretty cool. Wow, it's all blank. Oh no, we got some filled out. Porsche dealership here. Came in for an oil change. Service. Wow, that was in 1986. No way. So this is an 87-year car, but this was clearly purchased in August of 1986. So oil change, 1986. Maintenance service, 1986. That's when I had 1,100 miles on it. Came back in 1988 for an oil change, and it had 6,100 miles on it. And then this is pretty cool. Check this out. This is the original gloves that came with the Porsche, with the German writing on it. Pretty cool. So these gloves came with the car for any roadside maintenance, any roadside repairs you had to do, changing a flat. That's about it for the original equipment. As far as the outside goes, it's really in great shape. I mean, I spoke about the rust, how there's none of it. There's not even a rust blister anywhere on this car. I think in the next episode, I'll get it up on the lift and kind of show you guys underneath the car. I haven't done that yet, but from crawling underneath it, it's clear that this thing is just bone solid. It's not hiding anything. It's all original paint. Well, that's it for this episode, guys. Just a quick one. Wanted to get one out before I hit the road for California. Got lots of content coming in the next week while I'm out there at Sutton's place. Really excited to get back out there and see Sutton, show you guys what we have planned. It's going to be a fun week. Lots of work, hopefully lots of good content. Thank you guys so much for all the support. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Weigh in on the suspension. Let me know what you guys think. Coilovers or air suspension? I'm siding with coils. I mean, I think that's what will fit this car best. I'm not really into bagging everything, but the fact that air suspension is a little challenging in this car and it's not just a direct bolt-in kind of always excites me when it takes a little bit of thinking and modifications and whatnot. Another huge thank you to all of you guys over on the Patreon. There's a link to that in the video's description below if you guys want to help support the channel and support the shop and some of these new projects and weigh in on what you guys think I should do next and what I should do to the current projects. We'll see you guys in the next episode from California.